This is Okamoto 21i-TB control full CNC OD grinder. Basically this grinder is a double V construction servo drive with interactive conversational software. It is also capable of G&M code if you prefer to grind it that way, but with the conversational you have a very simple programming system with graphics. The machine does come standard with a shoulder locator. What the shoulder locator allows you to do is locate on the shoulders of the parts, and it'll offset your Z positions by the different depths of your centers part to part. What we are going to do is go through a quick setup on the machine. Through the conversational program, it is interactive, so I hit display. First thing it's going to ask me is what kind of wheel I want. In the conversational, you can have a straight wheel, a taper wheel, which is an angle, a shoulder wheel, which puts a back taper in it, and then a multiple straight, and an NC, which would be your G&M code. For this short demonstration, we're just going to start with a simple straight wheel. So we do have that selected. We'll push done. From there, we're going to go dress position set. As you can see, it says advanced wheel head. Move the wheel to the OD of the diamond. Push teach, and move the wheel to the side of the diamond and push teach. So basically, this is an interactive system. Tells you what to do. You bring the machine to those positions, hit the teach button, and it will record the software for you. So I'm going to put it in rapid, and we'll move the wheel over to the dress position, which is behind the workhead. Bring it in close, turn on our grinding wheel, and hand will come and touch off on our wheel. Once we touch off on our OD, we'll clean the OD up, and we'll bring it to the left side of the wheel. And what we'll do is we'll push X, teach, which records that position, and dress D. That simply, your dress position is set up, and we'll push done. From there, we give it the wheel data. It has diameter, width, so it knows how to dress the wheel and what kind of wheel it's dealing with. Then from there, we can go into a truing dress, assuming that it's a brand new wheel. It might have some run out in it. So we can come in, tell it how much to dress, how much we want it to in-feed, and how many times we want it to dress. From there, we'll hit ready. Change the software over. It says push cycle start. We'll push cycle start. And the machine will auto-locate at the top position, turn on the coolant, and conduct as many dresses as I told it to do on the truing dress. Right now, we've told it to true 2 times. This also confirms that your teaching position of the dress was correct. Okay, after your dress is done, on a new wheel, you wouldn't have to do this every time, but on a new wheel, you have to establish size on the machine. Right now, the machine does not know size, so what we have to do is we've got to come and grind a diameter, measure that diameter, put it into the machine, and that'll actually determine what size the machine is running at. This is done by our conversational software, which steps you through it step by step. So we'll hit display. First thing it says is set to datum X by pushing execute. I'll push execute. It says advance the workhead and grind your diameter until you have a clean diameter. So we'll turn on our workhead, and I will come in and grind until we have a good diameter. Put a little coolant on that so we get a nice clean diameter. Coming a little bit slower. Once we get a good clean diameter on the part, it says grind the surface film, push X1, so we'll push X1. Why isn't it liking that? Push X1, it's done. And then work OD. Hit retract. Previous. Retract. It doesn't like it. Retract. X1. And then done. And then what it wants us to do is measure that diameter. And this will determine size for the machine. Now this is a one-time application for the life of the wheel, so you'd only have to do this when you change wheels out. So we come in, we put in our measured diameter, 730 input, and that determines the sizing for our machine. So input measured work diameter, we're done that. It's blinking to show that we've confirmed that number, so we're done. At that point, it'll set center line, and we're basically done setting center line on the machine. From there, the next thing would be work number. We have 21 programs available in the conversational system. Each program is capable of grinding up to 8 surfaces. Now that would be a combination of ODs as well as shoulders. Right now we're going to use program number 0. We're going to come in. This sets our Z position, so we can basically come in and set our Z0 wherever we want. Done. Wheel head. Teaching. And that sets our 0 position for our Z. At that point, if you are going to use the locator, we can teach the locator, so I'll turn off the wheel and the coolant. And again, we're going to follow the instructions that are given on the machine. We advance the locator. We position the machine to where we want, what shoulder we want it to locate. So we'll come in thousandths. Faster here. Bring it up to whichever shoulder we want to contact. Bring it close to the shoulder, and then we come into our software and we give it the parameters we need to look for the shoulder. So first we're going to tell it the X and Z positions to look for the shoulder, how far to search for the shoulder, and how quickly. If the locator does not contact the shoulder within the parameters that I give in it, the locator will go back, it'll throw an alarm, and you'll know that you either misloaded the part or maybe the part's scrapped to begin with. So we put in all our parameters and told it where to start to search. We'll hit execute, ready, and we'll push cycle start, and this will happen real quick. So we'll push cycle start, it looks for the shoulder, it touches it, backs off, comes in, touches the shoulder again, and by doing that, it's established where that shoulder is at. Now, every time we start a cycle, it'll look for that shoulder, and it will offset all the Z positions by where the shoulder was found. We come in here, we can determine how many steps. Again, I'm just going to set this up for one simple step. What we do have is as many as 8 steps per cycle. Dress data. This tells it what to do when it gets a dress command. Not when to dress, but what to do when it gets the information. So the machine can dress both the OD and the shoulder of the wheel. You determine how much you want to in-feed and how quickly you want to dress, depending on surface finish, stock removal, and all that. But again, this is the command of what it's going to do when it gets the command, not when to dress. Come to our auto grind, display, we'll go to edit, and basically set up our grind method. The machine has 6 grind methods available. It's got a plunge, it's got a traverse, it's got an oscillation, shift plunge traverse, and plunge oscillate for OD grinding. And then 5 and 6 are basically going to be right shoulder grinding. You can either grind on the X axis or the Z axis. Right now we're going to just do a simple traverse grind, so we've got number 1 selected. Done. We'll go to stock removal. Finish diameter. So now that we've set up our center line, we can give it a finish diameter. So we'll go 1 point, our original number was 7.3, so we'll go 7.25, input. That'll be our finished diameter. We're telling it to take 5,000 stock off to that point. Fine grind, we're dividing the stock removal up between rough, medium, and fine. So as the part gets more contact, we can slow the grind down to get a better finish and a better accuracy off of the machine. So this just tells it where we want to finish, which would usually come off your blueprint, how much stock it has to take to get to that point. Dress cycle. This tells it when to dress. It doesn't tell it what to do when it gets to dress, it tells it when to dress. So right now, we're going to tell it to dress right at the beginning of the cycle and then right before the finish of the cycle. Now, the dress right before the finish of the cycle is the most important because that'll compensate for your accumulated wheel wear, and that's really important on holding accuracy on the machine. Approach condition, very simple. We just basically position the wheel to our start and end and push these buttons and it'll record those positions. So we'll come up and do the big diameter. We'll make that our start. Simply takes the information into the software. We'll make that our end. And as you can see, when you put your information in here, the letters will actually blink white to let you know that you've confirmed that it's taken that information. From here, we come into grind condition. This tells it how much to take off in a rough grind. So we're going to take 3/10 off on both sides of the stroke with a workhead speed of 200 RPMs. Then when it goes to medium stock removal, it's going to take 2.5 off on both sides with the workhead at 200. And then when we go to fine grind, it's going to take 1/10 off on each side for fine grind. Initial air cut, that's inconsistency from part to part, so we put a little air cut in there for any parts that might be warped from heat treat or maybe came off the lathe at a little bit different size than our setup part. Back off amount, what this allows us to do in between the rough and medium and fine cycles, it'll back the wheel off a little bit to take some of the flex and grinding pressure out of the part before it continues to that next grind cycle. Terry left and right are just wells. In feed position, we're going to infeed on both the left and the right. That's basically how easy the machine is to set up through the conversational. Conversational is a very user-friendly system. So what we're going to do is we're just going to back her up here, move the machine out, and we'll start up the quick cycle that we just built. So we'll go done. We're going to have it locate on this part. We're going to have it start on the top. And we're basically going to push cycle start. So first thing the machine will do is locate the OD diameter and confirm that that part is in fact a good part and loaded correctly. And then from that point it'll go and do our initial dress and then go right into our grind. Part's a little inconsistent. Basically, we're in-feeding 2.5 on both sides, so if you come and look at the software here, you'll actually see it in-feed, telling us where our finished diameter is, what our offset is, traverse, grind, straight wheel, and then our in-feed. And as you see it come to the right side, it'll in-feed basically our 2.5. Yep. And then come back and grind onto the part. We have a manual tailstock. The workhead on the Okamoto machines is a live dead setup. You can also mount chucks on there, and if you buy a U-style machine, you can put an ID attachment onto the machine. The machine only holds roughly 1 gallon of oil. The oil is only used for lubrication purposes. As far as maintenance goes, you have that oil that you change once a year, and then you do have basically a couple grease points that you grease every 2,500 hours. Other than that, there is really no maintenance on the machine. So that's a quick demo on a very simple traverse grind on the Okamoto 21 ITV control. Thank you very much.